तपाईको कपालमा कसको हुकुम चल्छ? स्प्लिट एन्ड्सको जित या हेयर फलको फैसला? कपालको समस्याहरूले तपाईको हेयर स्टाइलको निर्णय नगरोस्। हेयर प्रब्लम्स मतलब हेयर ड्यामेज। डभको 1/4 मोइस्चराइजिङ मिल्क र केराटिन एक्टिभ्सले कपाललाई भित्रैदेखि रिपेयर गर्छ। अब सुन्दर लहलहाउँदो कपाल जसमा चल्छ केवल तपाईको मर्जी। डभ
नेपालकै सबैभन्दा ठूलो फलामे छड उत्पादक कम्पनी
अम्बेस्टिस जे बन्छ दिगो बन्छ।
आफ्नो अमूल्य मतको सदुपयोग गरौं। शिवम सिमेन्ट।
Voting for the provincial and parliamentary elections has begun across the country. Eligible voters are exercising their franchise to elect public representatives who will have a significant role to play for the next 5 years. More than 17,900,000 voters are electing members of the House of Representatives and the provincial assemblies. Enthused voters are queuing in their respective voting centers to cast their ballot. Security has been beefed up in voting centers across the country. A total of 825 individuals will be elected to the House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly from the November 20 elections. There are a total of 11,543 candidates, including those from political parties and independent in direct and proportionate categories. Meanwhile, 17,988,570 voters are set to exercise their franchise at the polls. Of the 68 political parties registered at the Election Commission, 61 parties are contesting in the direct category, while 47 are in the fray in the proportionate category. A total of 2,412 candidates are contesting in the direct category of the House of Representatives. Of them, 2,187 are male, while 225 are female candidates. Towards the proportionate category, 2,199 candidates are contesting for the House of Representatives. Of them, 1,313 are female and 1,089 are male candidates. For the Provincial Assembly, 3,224 candidates are in the fray. 150 candidates are contesting in Province 1, 1,007 in Madhesh Province, 668 in Bagmati, 225 in Gandaki, 495 in Lumbini, 116 in Karnali and 193 in Sudur Pashchim Province. Of the total candidates of the provincial assemblies, 2,943 are male, 2,180 are female, and one candidate is of the LGBTIQA+ community. 3,708 candidates are contesting in the proportionate category of the Provincial Assembly. The November 20 polls will elect 275 members of the House of Representatives, 165 from the direct category and 110 from the proportionate category. Of the 275 members, 128 will be elected from Province 1, 32 from Madhesh, 33 from Bagmati, 18 from Gandaki, 26 from Lumbini, 12 from Karnali and 17 from Sudur Pashchim. Meanwhile, 550 members will be elected to the provincial assemblies, 330 from the direct category and 220 from the proportionate category. Of the total 17,988,570 voters, 8,847,579 are male, 9,140,806 are female, while 185 are from the LGBTIQA+ community. Bagmati province has the highest number of voters at 3,471,492 voters, while Karnali has the least at 1,084,003 voters. A total of 10,892 voting stations and 22,227 voting centers have been set for Sunday's election. Of these centers, 100 are physically challenged friendly. The Chief Election Officer, Dinesh Kumar Thapalia, has said that vote counting will begin from 8 p.m. tonight. Thapalia, who has cast his vote from a polling centre in Bhaktapur's Lokanthali, said that the results of both the provincial and parliamentary elections will be made public within 8 days. Thapalia has added that vote counting will begin from 8 p.m. tonight, as the voting process concludes at 5 in the evening. Joining us now from Bhaktapur is our colleague Sarah Sapsanama. Sarah, how is the election atmosphere there? We will try to get back to Sarah in a while. Moving on, CPN Unified Socialists In fact, casting his ballot, CPN Mao's Centre Chairperson Pushpa Kamal Dahal has said that today's election is significant in institutionalizing federalism in the country. Speaking at his voting centre, Rashtriya Adharbhut Madhyamik Vidyalaya in Bharatpur, Chitwan, Dahal said that the election fervour was enthusiastic. He claimed that the ruling coalition would win majority votes and form the next government. Mao Chair Dahal also said that the ruling coalition was yet to decide on the next Prime Minister, but said that there would be no complications in the alliance in this regard. Moving on, we now have our colleague Amar Singh Pradhan to give us some live updates. Amar, where are you and what updates do you have for our viewers? How's the enthusiasm there on this voting day today?
Voters and the general public. The Government, Home Ministry and Election Commission had also urged the general public, the people, to cast their votes judiciously without any kind of fear, and accordingly people have also done that. I am presently here at Gokarneswar municipality, which happens to be Kathmandu constituency 3. We have roundabout, it's ward number 4, Gokarneswar municipality is, I am here at ward number 4. It has relatively few voters, roundabout there are 868 voters, and I talked to some of the authorities here, and there has been some enthusiastic response, and some 245 voters have already cast their vote. That means it's over roundabout 40% people have cast their votes. And as I was going around Kathmandu Valley, I could see that early morning it was slightly cold, but with the breaking out of the sun, people have left their homes to cast their ballot with a lot of enthusiasm, the election fervor. And talking about this constituency 3, there are mainly 2 candidates are in the fray. We have Nepali Congress, the alliance candidate Santosh Chalise, who also happens to be the former mayor from this area. He is in the fray, the alliance candidate Santosh Chalise. He is mainly challenged by UML candidate, which also has a poll collaboration with the Rashtriya Pradhan Party. We have UML candidate Krishna Rai, the incumbent lawmaker from here, who had previously won the election from here, Krishna Rai. So mainly there are these 2 people in the fray. Likewise, in the provincial category, you have UML province Minister Rameshwar Fuyal, and he is mainly challenged by Binod Thakuri, who is a Nepali Congress alliance candidate. And talking about the fervor here, many politicians, the top politicians, including Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba, former Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Mao's chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal, former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, they have all termed this day a very significant day in the history of the country. To quote Mao's chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal, he said that it's a historic day, a day that will give a fresh mandate to the country, and which will lead to a new government that will finalize the future roadmap of the country. And so all these leaders, the main top leaders, they have expressed their the happiness, their enthusiasm. Also looking at the public participation, it has been quite enthusiastic to see the fervor.
Amar, security situation always remains a big concern in every election. How's the security scenario?
Yes, Sarah, we have been updating our viewers about this security situation. The 3-tier of security involving Nepal Army, Nepal Police, Armed Police Force, likewise the plainclothes police officials from your National Department, Intelligence Department, and not forgetting the temporary these police officers. So there are some 75,000 army personnel deployed across the country. around 70,000 Nepal police personnel across the country. Likewise, Armed Police Force has some 35 security personnel deployed across the country. Temporary police, some 115,000 security personnel deployed across the country. And along with that, there are a significant number of volunteers who are also looking around these election activities. And if we talk about in terms of the violence or some clashes that used to happen earlier on between different parties, some fightings that used to occur among the different cadres of different political parties. This time around, we have not heard much regarding such scuffles, violence, or some fighting. The primary reason for that is this new trend of poll collaboration between different parties. So because of the poll collaboration, like we have this ruling alliance poll collaboration, we have the opposition CPNML collaboration with RPP. So because of this new trend of poll collaboration, reportedly there has been less incidents of violence or your scuffles and other forms of fighting. And there has been, like in the lead up to in the run up to the election, there were some sporadic cases of some bomb blast or things like that, but they are very trivial. And some forces like Maoist forces, revolutionary Maoist forces led by Mohan Vaidya or our Biplab-led, Netra Bikram Chand Biplab-led some forces, they have also said that, they have already said that they are kind of aloof or sidelined from this election, and we don't have or we will not hear such incidents this time around. Hopefully. Sarah.
Amar, a voter education program is also another issue concerning every election. How hassle-free is voting this time around?
Yes, Sarah. Election Commission earlier had reported that it had spent some 500 million rupees on voters education program, the voters awareness program, and Election Commission was also kind of criticized for the fact that this time around they failed to carry out some door-to-door campaigning in terms of voter education program, and Election Commission's campaigning was more or less or largely limited to this digital platform. Election Commission might argue that some over 50% of the country's population have access to mobile telephone, but Election Commission is criticized in the fact that these mobile users might not have access to internet facility. So Election Commission was kind of criticized in that matter. However, this time around, as I was talking to some of the election officers, I will also talk to some of the voters, and they expressed that relatively it is much easier this time because of the nature of the ballot papers. There are some 4 ballot papers, and one ballot paper carries one stamp. The voters need to stamp, just give one stamp to each ballot paper, so which is relatively easier this time around, less confusion this time around. And as you can see in my background, like there is not much of a queue or things like that, and the voters are kind of taking some minimum of 3 minutes and a maximum of 5 minutes once they have got inside the voting center. Sarah.
Amar, what arrangement has been made to enable people with disabilities and senior citizens to cast their ballot?
Yes, Sarah, like it's a very well coordinated this time around. I was most of the journalists, the foreign observers, they were very much satisfied with the kind of arrangement we have regarding the elderly citizens, especially there's a physically challenged population. There is a very well coordinated, different, a separated line for the physically challenged population or elderly citizens to facilitate their voting. Sarah.
Thank you, Amar. We would like to hear more from you in our upcoming bulletin. That was our correspondent, Amar Singh Pradhan, giving us some live updates. Now, moving on, joining us now from Bhaktapur is our colleague, Sarah Sapsanama. Sarah, how is the election atmosphere there?
Sarah,
Sarah, we've reached to constituency 2 of Bhaktapur, and in constituency 2 it falls under Surya Binayak municipality. In Surya Binayak we are in Balkot and ward number 2. I'm standing in the premise of Sri Mahendra Shanti Secondary School right now. At the moment there are 3 voting centers in this particular ward, and in this particular voting center 3,173 voters will be looking to exercise their voting franchise. So far, as of our latest update, around 700 people have already come and cast their ballot in here, Sarah.
How's the security scenario in the voting center that you are in at the moment?
Well, just a short while ago, the security presence was a little less, but just a moment ago, the Chief District Officer came and cast his ballot, so the security presence was a little beefed up compared to earlier. And talking about the premise, there are around 19 security personnel who were deployed in here since early morning, and it kind of does not seem like it's managed that very well. It could be because of the confined space, because the school premise is a little relatively smaller compared to the constituency 1 voting center that I was in earlier in the morning, Sarah.
Sarah, how's the voters' management scenario there?
Well, it could be because of the confined and lesser, the size of the area in here. And in the previous May election, the local level election, I had, talked to you from this very premise. It was a relatively bigger space then. They've confined and constricted the space even more, and which has affected the voter management scenario in here. People are confused as to which line they are supposed to go. So I think it's about the lack of volunteers as well and security personnel. And I would attribute the lack of management to the lack of space as well. And there's very little space for media too. So there seems to be some lapses in management here, Sarah.
Can you please tell us about the candidates this time?
Yeah, sure. Well, in 2 constituencies, in constituency 1, there are a total of 14 candidates that are standing for the House of Representative election. This includes 4 independent and just 1 female candidate. The female representation issue has been raised well this time because parties have not fielded as many female candidates. They've pretty much used the lapses in our constitutional provisions. In constituency 2, however, there are 26 candidates and female candidates. There are 5 female candidates from constituency 2, where I am situated at the moment. And constituency 2 also has 11 independent candidates. If we are to speak about constituency 1, Sipin Maoist Center has Sunil Gothi. The ruling coalition has fielded Sunil Gothi from Sipin Maoist Center for the House of Representatives, and Navaraj Gelal is from CPN UML. However, the winner of 2017 election, Prem Suwal, is also on the run, and he's from Nemakipa, which has a stronghold, especially in constituency 1. Whereas for constituency 2, the ruling coalition has fielded Nepali Congress's Durlabh Thapa, and then CPN UML has fielded the previous election winner Mahesh Basnet. Nemakipa, which is finding its hold in this particular constituency weakening in recent times, especially after federalism. The Anuradha Thapa Magar has been fielded from the party, and we're also expecting CPN UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli to arrive any time now to cast his ballot from this particular center, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. We would like to hear more from you in our upcoming bulletin. That was our correspondent, Sarah Sapsanama, giving us some live updates from Bhaktapur. Moving on, CPN Unified Socialist Chairperson Madhav Kumar Nepal has voted from Rautahat. Unified Socialist Chairperson Nepal has cast his ballot from Ram Jankari Kenya Adharbut Vidyalaya in Gaur Municipality, Ward number 2 of Rautahat Electoral Constituency 1. Speaking after casting his ballot, Nepal expressed belief that today's election would be concluded in a peaceful manner. He also urged all the eligible voters to exercise their franchise. Election of the House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly is underway. Speaker Agni Sapkota has voted from Kubinde Voting Centre of Sindhupal Chowk, while National Assembly Chairperson Ganesh Prasad Timalsina has cast his ballot from Pashupati Madhyamik Vidyalaya in Modi Rural Municipality of his home district, Parwat. Senior Nepali Congress leader Shekhar Koirala has voted from Adarsha School in Morang, while Ramchandra Paudel has voted from Satyavati Madhyamik Vidyalaya in Vyas, Tanahu. Senior CPN-UML leader Ishwar Pokhrel has voted from Tokha, Kathmandu, while Nepali Congress General Secretary Gagan Thapa has voted from Maitidevi, Kathmandu. Chairperson of Rashtriya Swatantra Party Ravi Lamichhane has also voted from Kathmandu. Minister for Urban Development Metmani Chaudhary has voted from Janata Madhyamik Vidyalaya of Garhwa Rural Municipality in Dang, and Karnali Province Chief Minister Jivan Bahadur Shahi has voted from Mandhara Madhyamik Vidyalaya of Mahendra Madhyamik Vidyalaya of Kapurnath Rural Municipality in Humla. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up.
हर घरको सान भिडियोकन उत्कृष्टताको अनुभव शक्तिशाली हंसी सिमेन्ट अब 53 ग्रेड सहित हंसी सिमेन्ट रंगीन बनाउनुहोस् आफ्नो जिन्दगी अपोलो पेन्ट्सको साथमा साधारण बल्ब भन्दा उज्यालो वेगा एलईडी बल्ब भविष्य उज्यालो छ सञ्चेती सिटी सिचिया रंग गाडा स्वाद कडा सर्वोत्तम सिमेन्ट सर्वोत्तम मजबुती डिश होम फाइब्रोनेट प्रेजेन्ट्स मेगाफाई खुशीको अपग्रेड इन एसोसिएसन विथ अपकमिङ न्यूज.
आफ्नो अमूल्य मतको सदुपयोग गरौं. शिवम सिमेन्ट.
जगदम्बा सुपर साइन तथा ग्याल्वा प्लस जस्ता पाता जीवन भरको भरोसा.
तर तिम्रो कपाल चाहिँ कसरी यस्तो चम्केको?
न फिल्टर्स न केमिकल्स. मेरो कपाललाई म दिन्छु डाबर वाटिका श्याम्पूको नेचुरल पोषण. डाबर वाटिका श्याम्पू, beautiful naturally.
Berzer Silk, breathe easy. It's glamorous and also protects walls of my home from bacteria, viruses and pollution.
अब 43 र 53 ग्रेड सहित होंसी सिमेन्ट.
मेरो टार्गेट स्कुल च्याम्प बन्ने.
मेरो चाहना मेरो परिवारको इच्छा पूरा गर्नु हो. म दिन्छु विवा मेरो परिवारलाई हरेक दिन.
मेरो आमाले मेरो सबै थोक पुग्छ.
विवा शुभ दिनको सुरुवात.
Sting Energy Drink now in Nepal.
कान्तिपुरले फेरि उपहारको कोसेली ल्यायो. विभिन्न उपहार र बम्पर पायो. कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा काठमाडौँ पोस्टको वार्षिक ग्राहक बनी पाउनुहोस्. हरेक हप्ता 43 इंच DSi स्मार्ट टिभी, हरेक महिना सेगवे इलेक्ट्रिक बाइक E100 र बम्परमा किया सोनेट जित्ने सुनौलो मौका. साथै स्क्रैच कार मार्फत रु 250 देखि 3400 सम्मको क्याशब्याक. स्योर शट उपहारमा पाउनुहोस्. शिखर इन्स्योरेन्सद्वारा रु 5 लाखको दुर्घटना बीमा. आजै ग्राहक बन्नुहोस्. कान्तिपुर. सब्सक्राइब एन्ड ड्राइभ रिलोडेड.
अब 43 र 53 ग्रेड सहित होंसी सिमेन्ट.
Beat sensitivity fast with Sensodyne Rapid Relief. Works in 60 seconds.
जब डरले घाँटी सुक्छ तब हिम्मतमा पकड नछुटाउस्. माउन्टेन ड्यू ग्रिप प्याक. हिम्मत जोडले पकड.
थोरै मात्रै बाँकी छ.
मम्मीले सबलाई पालक पनीर दिनुभयो. आफूले चाहिँ कम खानु पर्यो.
हेरी खुसुर पुसुर. पालक पनीर कम खानु भयो भने क्याल्सियम र आइरन कहाँबाट पाउनुहुन्छ?
कहाँबाट?
हाम्रो हर्लिक्सबाट. एक कप हर्लिक्समा छ आयरन जस्तै पालकमा, भिटामिन सी जस्तै ओरेन्जमा र क्याल्सियम जस्तै दुधमा. हर्लिक्स
पुरा फिनिश गर्नुस्.
तिमीहरू कहिले यति ठुलो भयो?
अब 43 र 53 ग्रेड सहित होंसी सिमेन्ट.
नेपालकै सबैभन्दा ठुलो फलामे छड उत्पादक कम्पनी
अम्बे स्टिल्स. जे बन्छ दिगो बन्छ.
आफ्नो अमूल्य मतको सदुपयोग गरौं. शिवम सिमेन्ट.
Welcome back. We now have our colleague Prarambha Dahal with insights about today's provincial and parliamentary elections.
Well, thank you, Sarah. At a time when the entire planet is eagerly waiting for the FIFA World Cup in Qatar to officially inaugurate this evening with the inaugural match between the hosts and Ecuador, Nepal, the whole of Nepal, all of the eligible voters of the country are busy and enthusiastically exercising their franchise in the elections of the House of Representatives and the provincial assemblies. So in this context, we have some insights for all of our viewers, and this covers both of the elections that are being held today, the provincial assemblies and at the same time the House of Representatives as well. So let us take a look at the seats of the House of Representatives. There are a total of 275 seats for the lower house, with 165 seats up for grabs in the direct category, while 110 is in the proportionate election. So 165 is something that is going to decide the way the parliament is going to be shaped for the next 5 years in terms of direct elections, votings, and the rest is from the proportionate category. Considering the number of total political parties, 61 are in the fray for the direct category, while 47 are contesting in the proportionate category of the election of the lower house or the House of Representatives. Now let us take a look at the share or the proportions or demographics in terms of candidates for the direct category. Of the total 2,412 candidates who are contesting in the direct category, almost 91%, which is 90.67%, are male, 2,187, while only 225 females are contesting in the direct category. This also gives a reflection about how our parliamentary system, our political mechanisms lacks balance in terms of sex or gender. So in terms of the proportionate category, 2,402 candidates are in competition. Of them, 1,089 are male and 1,313 are females in the proportionate category. The reason for having proportionate elections is also to ensure that people from different backgrounds, different sex, different communities, different rural and geographical areas of the country get their chance or opportunity to be selected or elected as the member of House of Representatives. So that is why the number of females out here is quite larger than in comparison to the direct race. So let us take a look at the number of candidates from all of the political parties that are contesting today. CPN-UML, the main opposition, has the highest number of candidates with 141, while following behind is Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, which is 140. And these two parties have formed some alliances in some of the electoral constituencies for the provincial assemblies and the House of Representatives as well. So Rashtriya Swatantra Party, a new political entity in case of Nepal and Nepali political history, has 131 candidates. Nepali Congress, which is the largest party of the current ruling coalition, has 91 seats. Rashtriya Prajatantra Party Nepal has 58. And Loktantrik Samajwadi Party has 51 candidates so far, in fact, in this election. CPN Maoist Center, a partner of Nepali Congress, alongside CPN Unified Socialist in the ruling coalition, has 46 candidates. Janata Samajwadi Party has 32. CPN Unified Socialist has 21 candidates. All right, so these are the number of political parties out there and the candidates fielded by the political parties as well. So we're waiting for, I think we have got some breaking news and it's yet to appear on my screen. So continuing with the information, Saza Party Nepal has 1 candidate, Rashtriya Jana Morcha has 2, while Vivekshil Saza Party has 7 candidates. So the voting for today's provincial and House of Representatives election is underway, and that is why we're giving you some insights and information about the demographics and the numbers in terms of the candidates as well. So let's take a look at different communities and candidates belonging to different communities in today's election. 1,017 belong to Khash Arya community, which is the largest, 42.16%, while indigenous nationalities, there are 641 from indigenous nationalities, and we've got some breaking news out there. Bazura, so voting has been postponed in Burigonga Rural Municipality, Ward number 1 of Bazura, while there has been the voting which was previously suspended in Palpa Janapriya Madhyamik Vidyalaya Higher Secondary School. Borthung has resumed. It was earlier halted for a while. And in fact, 20% of votes have so far been casted in Kotang since early in the morning until 10 a.m. So that is the latest update so far. So one more time, Tribhuvan Secondary School, the voting center out there. looks like there's some problem out there, and that is why the voting has been postponed or halted for a while. That is because of some confusions and the disputes related to the ballot boxes. So that is the latest that we have from there. So coming back to the information that we have, Madeshis, 506, 20.98% of the total candidates, and only 97 from the Dalit community, 82 from Muslims, and only 69 from the Tharo community. All right, so moving on, let us take a look at the share of male and female candidates in all of these provinces. In fact, this is about the voters, the number of voters. In province number 1, the highest number is 3,396,865, while the lowest number of voters in terms of provinces is from Karnali province. It only has 1,084,003 voters out there. Let us take a look at the province-wise independent candidates. The highest number of independent candidates for this provincial and parliamentary elections is from Madhes one more time. 547 is the total number. However, the number is dominated by male candidates. In terms of independents, 515 are independent male candidates, while 32 are female. Sudur Paschim, 31 and 1. But the lowest number of independent candidates is from Karnali one more time with 16 male candidates, and there is no female independent candidate in Karnali province. Taking a look at similar bar charts out here, Bagmati and Lumbini have almost equal number of independent candidates, 192 in Bagmati and 164 in Lumbini, but the share of independent women candidates is higher in Bagmati province at 36, while in Lumbini it's only 6. In terms of voting stations, voting centers across the country, the highest number of voting stations is in Madhes province, 2,156, while the lowest number of voting stations, one more time, is in Karnali in the western part of the country. So let us now proceed with this. Of the total 790 candidates, independent candidates in the House of Representatives, 790 are male and 77 are female, while in terms of the provincial assemblies, 992 are male candidates and only 98 are female candidates. It is something that the political parties have to realize and reflect upon, because the number of women candidates, female candidates, is very, very less in the race for both the House of Representatives and the provincial assemblies. So in terms of Madhes, let us now take a look at Madhes. That's 547 with the highest, Karnali lowest with only 16. So some of the parties have fielded relatively higher number of women candidates than the others. Well, Nepal Mazdoor Kisan Party, Nepal Workers and Peasants Party has 12, followed by CPN-UML with 11. CPN Maoist Center has just 1 female candidate. Janata Samajwadi Party has 7. Nepali Congress has 5. And the number only reduces. Considering the number of women candidates from the political parties and the interesting figure out here of the independent candidates, 77, it gives a real contrast between how the political parties have not really prioritized women candidates, but women themselves are coming forward as independent candidates. So that is also another wake-up call for the political parties to emphasize or to give space to women candidates who deserve to be there, instead of forming coalitions and then sharing the seats. This figure out here of 77 shows that women are actually interested in politics. In terms of House of Representatives, there are 229 women candidates, and for provincial assemblies, there are 286 women candidates. So something of interest out here is this figure of independent women candidates for this election, which is underway today. Now let us take a look at the Dalit candidates from different political parties. Well, CPN-UML has Chabilal Bishwakarma, and CPN Maoist Center has 2 candidates from the Dalit community. Maheshwar Janghatras, who's also served as the Minister for Youth and Sports, and Anjana Bishanke is there. Sadly, the party which takes so much of pride in being a very historic political entity of the country, and at the same time of practicing democracy and democratic norms and values, Nepali Congress does not have a single Dalit candidate for today's election. So number of candidates from the Dalit community have served as lawmakers at the National Assembly between 1959 to 1995 was 15. In the first Constituent Assembly election, of the total 601 members, only 51 were from the Dalit community, which reduced to 41 in the second CA election. And in the last times, 2017 House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly elections, members in the lower house from the Dalit community were only 19, which is a very minute figure of just 6%. And after that, let us take a look at some of the interesting figures who are contesting this time in today's election. Artists Rekha Thapa, a popular actor as well, is from Rashtriya Prajatantra Party. Muralidhar Mizar is also from the same political entity. Manoj Pandit is an independent candidate in Kavri 2. Madhukumar Shrestha of Nepali Congress is contesting in Dhadingwan. Sanjay Shrestha, a singer, popular singer with good voice, is in Kathmandu 6, an independent candidate. Madhusudan Pathak is also in Kathmandu 6 as an independent candidate, rivaling Sanjay Shrestha out there. Himesh Panta of Rashtriya Swatantra Party is in Dhadingwan. Rose Rana is contesting in the Provincial Assembly for Putan 1-2 in Nepali Congress, while Karan Shrestha is also contesting in Kathmandu 1-2 from Loktantrik Samajwadi Party. So business persons, this is something of interest for everyone all the time. Binod Chaudhary, billionaire from Nepal, is contesting from Nepali Congress in Nawalparasi 1, Bardaghat, Susta West, while Umesh Shrestha, who has also served in different capacities in the previous governments, has been fielded by Nepali Congress in Chitwan 2. Balkrishna Sivakoti of CPNUML is in Dolakha, while Bikram Pandey from Rashtriya Prajatantra Party is contesting in Chitwan 3. Similarly, CPN Unified Socialist Krishna Kumar Shrestha Kishan is in Bara 4, while Nepali Congress's Purna Bahadur Tamang Kansaram is contesting in Ramechhap, and Suman Bikram Pandey of Rashtriya Swatantra Party is in Nuwakot 2, while Chabat Bora of CPNUML is up in Acham 1. So Birendra Mahto of Janata Samajwadi Party is contesting in Sira 4, while Nepali Congress has fielded Mohan Acharya in Raswa, and CPNUML has put up Lal Prasad Limbu in Jhapa 4, followed by Rajendra Bajgai of Nepali Congress in Gorkha 1, and Indra Bahadur Bania of Nepali Congress in the Provincial Assembly race in Mokwanpur 2-1. So after that, let us take a look at some of the political figures with some shady records out there. Vijay Kumar Gachadar, Teng Bahadur Gurung, and Govindaraj Joshi, all of them are facing corruption charges in the different judiciary tiers of the country. So D.V. Tamang, Lakshmi Moto, Prabhu Shah, Vikram Pandey, Rewat Rajpuri, all of them have been amongst the headlines and news for different reasons. So that is all from us at the moment. We'll be back with more updates in the coming bulletins. Now back to Sarah.
Thank you, Prarambha. We have recently received updates from various places across the country. Now, voting has been halted in a voting center in Banke Kohalpur of Tribhuvan School. Voting has been halted there due to wrong ballot paper. Voting has also been halted in Siraha, Kamjuraha municipality due to scuffle. It has been reported that police opened fired 3 times in the air. Likewise, voting has also been halted in Sangkwa Sabha in 2 voting centers. Furthermore, voting has been halted in Khatbari and Chainpur as the ballot papers of federal has been sent there instead of the provincial election. Now, moving on, differently abled people have taken the responsibility of 1 polling center in Baitari. The Office of the Chief Election Officer in Baitari has given the responsibility of voting center at Tripura Sundari Health Center in Dashrath Chand Municipality 8 to a team of differently abled people. All the election officials at this polling center are differently abled except for the security personnel. The members of the election team say that they can work as well as any other people. During the last election, a local election held in May, they were not given their sole responsibility and were also stationed in remote areas. However, this time they have been stationed at a center near the headquarters, which has made their work easier. 5 voting centers of Dang will be under the leadership of women. The voting officer, associate voting officer, among other election staff, including security personnel, are only women. 465 voting centers in 153 voting stations have been allocated in 3 election constituencies for the parliamentary election and 6 electorates for the provincial assembly election in Dang. 7 out of 465 voting centers are under the leadership of female election officers. All the personnel stationed in these voting centers, including the election officer, other officers and security personnel, are all women. Likewise, the security of a Belghari voting station that has 1,930 voters is under the leadership of a female assistant sub-inspector of police. 14 security personnel, including temporary police, have been maintaining security there. A total of 61 female election officers had been appointed in 20 voting centers in Dang's Constituency 1, 22 in Constituency 2 and 19 in Constituency 3. Likewise, 2 inspectors, 9 sub-inspectors, 124 police head constables and police constables, as well as more than 1,000 temporary police are female. The Office of the Chief Election Officer in Dang has said that female officers have been handed these responsibilities as a proof that women are capable of undertaking all kinds of work. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse, brought to you by Prabhu Bank, reason for your success. BITS College of Engineering and Management, Balkumari, Lalitpur. Hero Super Splendor, Nepalko Ati Lokopriya Motorcycle. Adim National College, Chavi Hill, Kathmandu. Global College International, Meet Manisore, Kathmandu. Uniglobe College, BBA, MBA. Sundarta ka lagi Rose Faso. Kathmandu Bernhardt College, Bafel, Kathmandu. Texas International College, Mitra Park, Chavi Hill.
Here's the question. What do you term the departure of citizens for foreign employment at the time of elections? Your options are A, necessity of employment, B, disregard for politics, and C, lack of accountability. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option, A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Malaysia's tightly contested general election has delivered a hung parliament with political alliances led by opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim and former Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin running neck and neck. Anwar's Pakatan Harapan PH or Alliance of Hope coalition secured 82 seats in the 222-member parliament, while former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin's Malay-based Perikatan Nasional trailed behind with 73 seats, results from the Election Commission showed today. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has appeared with his young daughter in public for the first time, confirming long-rumored reports of her existence. The girl, believed to be named Kim Chu-ae, joined him at an inspection of a major intercontinental ballistic missile launch on Friday. The pair stood hand in hand during the test, which was condemned by the U.S. Kim leads one of the world's most secretive states, and very little is known about his personal life. Several photos are published by North Korea's state news agency KCNA showing the two holding hands while they chat, speaking with officials, inspecting missiles and watching the launch from a viewing deck. The revelation of Kim Jong-un's daughter has interested North Korea analysts far more than news. It has successfully launched its most powerful intercontinental ballistic missile, thought to be capable of hitting the United States. Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, has said Donald Trump's account has been reinstated after running a poll in which users narrowly backed the move. But the former U.S. president may not return to the platform. His account was suspended in 2021 due to the risk of incitement of violence. Twitter's previous management acted just days after Donald Trump's supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. on 6th of January. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break.
Powered by Dokla Chia, Afri Bagan ko Taja Chia, Amrit Tel nahi ho Amrit. Supported by Plumber Pipes, Tiki Rahanta Chali Rahanta, Panasonic, a better life, a better world. Himstar Nepalko #1 CE प्रमाणित brand, जसलाई म आफ्नो भन्न सक्छु. Upgrade to Honda Grazia 125cc. Honda Parachute Skin Pure Face Wash, Aloe Vera Suntala र Goat Milk variant ma.
आफ्नो अमूल्य मतको सदुपयोग गरौं। शिवम सिमेन्ट,
जगदम्बा सुपर साइन तथा ग्याल्वा प्लस जस्ता पाता जीवन भरको भरोसा।
अब 43 र 53 ग्रेड सहित होंगसी सिमेन्ट।
पोखरा जाने बस अझै 1 घण्टा ढिला भएको जानकारी
पाउनु। 1 घण्टा क्या बोर यार।
Mood Ding Dong. Send it. Mood Ding Dong.
You're real ho.
यो हो रियल रियल फ्रुटबाट बनेको रियल जुसमा छ रियल न्युट्रिसन रियल टेस्ट र रियल ह्याप्पिनेस त्यसैले त रियल जुस रियल हो नि
छिटो पनि दोब्बर तेब्बर बनी दोब्बर प्लस मुद्दती 2 गुना भुक्तानी 5 वर्ष 8 महिना 28 दिनमा तेब्बर प्लस मुद्दती 3 गुना भुक्तानी 9 वर्ष 1 महिना 7 दिनमा प्लस सुविधाहरू 10 लाख सम्मको दुर्घटना बीमा अजोड इन्स्योरेन्सको सहकार्यमा अनि 10 लाख सम्मको जीवन बीमा रिलायन्स लाइफ इन्स्योरेन्सको सहकार्यमा
समृद्धिको लागि सिभिल बैंक अब 43 र 53 ग्रेड सहित होङ्सी सिमेन्ट
नेपालकै सबैभन्दा ठूलो फलामे छड उत्पादक कम्पनी
अम्बे स्टिल्स जे बन्छ दिगो बन्छ
आफ्नो अमूल्य मतको सदुपयोग गरौं शिवम सिमेन्ट
Sports news brought to you by Lakshmi Steel, Nepalमै guaranteed #1 quality. साधारण बल्ब भन्दा उज्यालो वेगा LED बल्ब भविष्य उज्यालो छ. V-Bond World Class Economics Office Chair with 4 years warranty. Dish Home Fibronate presents Mega Fi Kushiko upgrade.
Much awaited FIFA World Cup 2022 will kick off today in Qatar. A total of 831 footballers from 32 nations are in Doha for the football extravaganza. Host Qatar are facing Ecuador in the inaugural match later tonight. After 12 years of questions, criticisms and conjecture, the FIFA World Cup in Qatar will finally get underway today. Originally scheduled to kick off on November 21, the opening ceremony was moved a day earlier so that host Qatar could start the tournament as is customary for the home nation, but the ceremony needed to be at night for a planned fireworks display. The 2022 FIFA World Cup is ready to kick off as host Qatar match up against Group A opponents Ecuador. Host Qatar will kick off the tournament at Al Bayt Stadium at 9:45 p.m. local time. Ecuador reached the World Cup by frustrating South American opponents with a stingy defense, conceding just 19 goals in CONMEBOL qualifying, the joint lowest of any team not named Brazil or Argentina, who ran away with the results. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Voting underway for the provincial and parliamentary elections across the country. Enthused voters exercising their franchise. Election Commission to begin counting from 8 p.m. tonight. Results to be made public within 8 days, claims Chief Election Commissioner Thapalia. Malaysia's tightly contested general election delivers a hung parliament. Political alliances led by opposition leader Ibrahim and former Prime Minister Yassin running neck and neck. And much-awaited FIFA World Cup 2022 begins today. 831 footballers from 32 nations competing in Doha host Qatar to face Ecuador in the inaugural match. That's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 6 p.m. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for latest and live updates from the provincial and parliamentary election. Bye for now.
Powered by Dokla Chia, आफ्नै बगानको ताजा चिया, अमृत तेल नै हो अमृत. Supported by Plumber Pipes, टिकी रहन्छ चलिरहन्छ. Panasonic, a better life, a better world. Himstar, नेपालको नम्बर 1 CE प्रमाणित ब्रान्ड, जसलाई म आफ्नो भन्न सक्छु. Upgrade to Honda Grazia 125cc. Honda Parachute Skin Pure Face Wash, Aloe Vera सुन्तला र Goat Milk variant मा.
Indigo Paints, सदा वसन्तम.
अब 43 र 53 ग्रेड सहित होंगसी सिमेन्ट
प्रस्तुत छ ज्यास्मिन र बदामको तेलको पोषण युक्त लक्स, जसले हरेक स्नान बनाउँछ पोषण युक्त. अब पाउनुहोस् पोषण युक्त चम्किलो त्वचा. प्रयोग गर्नुहोस् लक्स हरेक दिन.
So, कस्तो भइरहेछ त फिटनेस जर्नी? It's going great. तर त्यतिले मात्र पुग्दैन नि. वर्कआउट सँगै चाहिन्छ डाबर हनी, जसले पूरा गर्छ हाम्रो फिटनेस रुटिन.
डाबर हनीमा छ एन्टिअक्सिडेन्ट र मिनरल, जसले तपाईको फिटनेस रुटिन कम्प्लिट गर्नको साथै तपाईलाई राख्छ सधैँ फिट र यङ.
डाबर हनी